What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with one of the biggest bodybuilder this sport has ever seen. And that is your former 2 times Miss Olympia champion Big Ramy. So not that there was any doubt that Big Ramy will not be doing this year's Miss Olympia, because we saw no physique updates throughout this year. But if people were hoping that he might be secretly prepping, then this picture ends all the rumors. And I have to say, do not be surprised at all if he is done for good, because he has cemented his legacy already. He is among those few men who won the Olympia title not once but twice. And if we think about it, Ramy has nothing left to prove. And whether you are a fan of his physique or not, you know there is absolutely no chance that he can reclaim that throne now. And the fact is, we do not even know whether the judges want to reward him or not, because based on his last competition, the Arnold 2023, he was kinda overlooked. Even his former rival Phil Heath went on the record saying that Big Ramy placing 4th made no sense to him at all. So this picture was taken without a pump, and Ramy is still carrying some serious size, and with a decent pump and good lighting, he might look twice as good. But at the same time, I have to say Ramy has looked way bigger and way harder, especially when he was in his prime of seasons. So what do you guys think? Will we see Big Ramy back on any bodybuilding stage? And that doesn't necessarily mean the Olympia. The Arnold Classic 2025 is a great option as well. And we have to keep in mind, as of right now, it has more prize money than the Olympia. Now let's take a look at the reigning Miss Olympia champion Derek Lunsford, the only man in the history who won the Olympia title in 2 different divisions. And he's planning to look for another one in 6.5 weeks' time. So I don't know whether Derek listens to all these podcasts or predictions, because many experts out there, they do not have Derek winning this year. But again, I have to say predictions are just predictions, and they do not really matter. So Derek went through a full shoulder workout in his latest YouTube video, where we got to see him hitting most muscular multiple times. Now we all know this isn't one of Derek's strongest shots, because he doesn't have the density, the maturity in the chest and the shoulders area, which Hadi brings. I mean, there is no one like Hadi, especially when it comes to that most muscular shot. The kind of striations that he has, that is just insane. But we haven't really seen this new version of Derek, so his shoulders are getting striated in this video. And this video was taken at 7 weeks out, so he still has plenty of time to bring out that fine detail, because at this point it is all about holding on to all that muscle that he has packed on in this off-season, and at the same time continue to refine that muscle. So Derek is gonna be absolutely shredded to the bone at this year's Miss Olympia, and he is gonna milk those back shots more than ever, because that is the best back on the planet right now. So we all know he is gonna lose some of the front shots to Hadi and Samson as well, but it's all about who stands out the most in those 8 mandatories. Samson dauda getting praised by the former multiple times Arnold Classic champion Bonac when they are so close to competing against each other. That is a true sign of admiration. So Bonac knows that he isn't in the discussion of top 6 this year, but he will also try to bring his best at what might very well be his last Miss Olympia, because there is no debate on this fact that this is the tail end of his career. So the comparison shot of him versus Samson dauda shows how massive Samson really is. And Bonac used to be one of the most 3D looking guy in his prime. But I think you can all see that the word that isn't there anymore. So William was still good enough to beat Behrouz Tabani in some shots, and at his last show too, which was Dubai Pro. But it was a clear-cut victory for Behrouz. So can Bonac get any better than that for this year's Miss Olympia? I have to say, even if he does, the guys in the potential top 6, they are just way too good this year. Now he can continue to make a great living off bodybuilding if he continues to compete and win shows every year, because the prize money will go further up next year. If anybody had any doubts whether Hunter Labrada will be in shape for this upcoming show, which is Italy Pro, and these new pictures will clear all the doubts. So Hunter looked amazing last year while prepping for Tampa Pro. But this version right here, this isn't only cut, it seems to be a bigger version, which was their ultimate goal. And I have to say, the man is looking absolutely bonkers right now. So his team was expecting that Hunter will be 10 pounds heavier compared to last year. And even if we assume that that number was exaggerated, and if he is up 5 pounds, even then that is just insane. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the look And Hunter is right on the track to show up at his absolute best in less than 2 weeks' time. I mean, even his back double biceps. I mean, look at that lower back. That was always his weakness, and that is looking so supreme right now. His conditioning is absolutely ridiculous at the moment. So Andrew jacked at this year's Texas Pro. That was one of the biggest surprise for the bodybuilding community because of the amount of size that he was able to pack on in just one off season. And I have to say the next surprise is gonna be Hunter Labrada. So his strength is having very good flow from every angle. He has got some shots like the side tricep, which I think will be the best side tricep on the Olympia stage this year. Now, interestingly, Martin Fitzwater took Nick Walker's name as the guy who he aims to beat at this year's Miss Olympia, and not Hunter's name. None of us has seen his final look, but I have to say Italy Pro is gonna be a wrap as soon as he walks out on that stage. But the question right now is that, will he be able to make top 5 at this year's Miss Olympia in October? As of right now, looking at these pictures, I have to say he has a very legitimate shot at placing top 5, or maybe even higher than that. But do let me know what you guys think. Is that a coincidence that Hadi posted the same T-bar row video just a few days after Derek and Andrew posted that same video? This man is not afraid of anyone. I mean, he wasn't even afraid of one of the greatest of all time, the former Miss Olympia Phil Heath, when these guys stood next to each other at their last show together, which was the Olympia 2020. Yes, that wasn't the best of Phil. Yes, that wasn't a Phil in his prime. But have you ever seen someone else challenge Phil Heath for a pose down like Hadi did? So right now, if we look at all the predictions, actually most of the predictions, you will see that Hadi is winning. And that is based on what we saw at this year's Arnold from Hadi plus the updates that he has been posting every week. He has been looking absolutely superb. So there is zero discussion on the fact that Hadi Rambod and Hadi will try to bring that same Arnold classic look, maybe just a few pounds heavier, but with that same conditioning. So there is nobody else out there, especially in this year's Mr. Olympia lineup, who is gonna outcondition Hadi especially from the front. And the man is looking wider and thicker from the back as well. So I think it is gonna be a dogfight once again for the top spot this year. Lastly, we have an off-scene physique update of one of the best bodybuilders that came into classic physique division. The only guy who has won the Arnold twice in his career, Terrence. So Terrence currently is eating 7 meals a day, and the swole game is absolutely on. So him skipping the Olympia this year is a big decision, but he needs to take a full year off to focus on getting bigger, to evolve with the division, because he still has plenty of room to get bigger before he exhausts his weight limit. Because Terrence is that guy who can put on another 15 pounds of solid muscle before he reaches his weight cap. And that is a lot of muscle to put on his frame. And the fact is, he doesn't need to be 15 pounds heavier to make a great comeback next year. So his arms are his biggest weakness. So he will definitely be focusing on that. And he is already off to a very good start. So Terrence setting a prime example for young and upcoming bodybuilders that in order to make improvements, you need a long break from competing. So what are your expectations from Terrence in 2025? Also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.